So...
Well, that was National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, it's your family tradition to
It's a
watch
family
every
tradition,
year?
yes. It was a movie I started watching when I was like 10 or 11, somewhere around there. And my family watched it every year for probably 4 or 5 years, and then we watched it every other year. Like it just became a family tradition for us to watch that movie and so forth. And then last year, I watched it on my own because it wasn't really a family Christmas. And then this year,
also not really a family
no
Christmas.
really family Christmas this year, but not because of any other reason other than a global pandemic.
Yeah,
And so I decided to show it to you.
Yeah.
So this will be a spoiler review, even though it's a 31-year-old movie.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it now, go see it.
Well, what did you think? Should someone who hasn't seen it
Yeah, I thought it was
see
great.
it, even though it's a 31-year-old movie?
Oh yeah, it's a classic. It's a classic. No, it was really fun, and it was really hilarious. Lots of good physical comedy and just lots of comedy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You were saying it was a sequel, though.
Yes. The first National Lampoon movie was called National Lampoon's Vacation. It starred Chevy Chase, the main Clark Griswold, and Beverly D'Angelo, his wife. Kids were different actors playing the kids.
Interesting.
And it was just similar in the sense that I haven't seen it in a long time.
Were the neighbors in it?
No, because they go on vacation. Right?
Oh,
It's a road trip movie, from what I remember.
Okay.
And cousin Eddie was in the first one, and he was on the farm, and they meet up with him, and then more shenanigans. It was basically just a road trip movie where things happen. Whereas this is a sequel to that. But really, you don't need to see Christmas Vacation. I was
just wondering because, with the neighbors in the movie, I thought maybe they were in the first one.
Not that I remember. No.
Okay. Interesting. So. Yeah, the neighbors were funny.
Yes. Well, the neighbors. I mean, they were really worked on. They were just sort of uptight neighbors that are antagonists.
The stuff that they did to the neighbors.
Oh yeah.
Not that they were really doing it on purpose, but
the icicle going through the window is always a favorite of mine.
The tree was really funny, I thought.
Oh, when they cut down the tree and it crashed.
And they're just sitting at this point in the movie, this is kind of near the end of the movie, you kind of expect shenanigans to happen, but whenever they show the neighbors, it's okay, well, obviously something's gonna happen. What is it?
Mm-hmm.
And he's about to cut down the tree, I think. So you're I was thinking it's gonna fall into the house or something. And then they're sitting there and they're having their margaritas and their weird dinner, which was
and they're stuck up pretentious.
They're really stuck up.
Oh, it's so cliche to have a Christmas tree in the house.
Yeah, the wife's oh, I kind of wish we got one, even though it's dirty and gross and you see your accent. And then you just
3 seconds later,
3 seconds later,
crashes
through the window. But it wasn't as I thought it was gonna just totally bring in the roof or anything.
No,
it didn't do that.
No, it is the movie itself is a bit of an exaggeration. And I don't know why.
A bit.
What? Well, when the cat gets fried underneath the chair.
Oh, that was bad, yeah.
And then they actually move the chair, and you just see this outline of a fried cat.
Yeah. It was just every shenanigan you could think of, plus throw in 3 times that.
See, what I loved about this movie, obviously, was watching you watch it for the first time. Now, most of the time, you don't react to movies. You enjoy movies, right?
Yeah, of course.
But you don't. But this one, you really did.
So you should have filmed me in my reactions.
I guess I could have over this one here.
Trying to work on my reactions.
Not that you need to work on your reactions.
Yeah, I'm not, a lot of times I find things funny, but I don't really laugh out loud.
This one you did.
LOL, I'm not really laughing out loud.
You were very sort of surprised by a lot of things.
Yeah.
The movie was written by John Hughes. John Hughes passed away not too long ago. He was a prevalent writer in the 80s and 90s. And Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, whatnot, those, the standard stuff, Breakfast Club.
Breakfast at Tiffany?
Yeah, he was really young when he wrote that. Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, whatnot. All wonderfully written movies by John Hughes, but Christmas Vacation is definitely one of his best. The odd thing about it is that it doesn't really have a main story. I guess the Christmas bonus story is kind of a run-through story.
Well, the Christmas bonus, and like also he wants to have this like family Christmas. Like I feel like one of the things I like about the movie is like obviously it's super funny, but like there's always a different thing like with these Christmas movies, you know, that is like special about them or whatever, and it's like it's kind of realistic of like you're trying to have this perfect family Christmas. Like he's gonna have all the both sets of parents, and then brother or the cousin ends up showing up with his family, and then the great aunt and uncle are there too. And it's like you have all these expectations, and like you want to like make it magical for the kids and everything, and like just everything goes wrong. And like I mean, usually that doesn't happen in real life like to that extent, so it's kind of an exaggeration. But I feel like anyone who's ever like had a family or had Christmas or like anything like that, you can definitely relate.
It definitely does have exaggerations, because my absolute favorite part of the movie is so over the top, but yet I laugh so hard every time. Basically what it is the main character, Clark Griswold, works for like a company that produces new consumable products, and one of them that they developed was this new lubricant for like cooking, like like a PAM or a grease or whatnot. And it's like experimental, and it's like 500 times more lubricant than anything else in the market. And he decides to put it on the bottom of his sled. And basically he gets to the top of the hill and he applies it, he gets it on there. And what's masterful about this movie is also the timing and how they edit it. Because he's at the top of the hill in the sled, and he just sort of like creaks forward, and then the next shot is this streak of fire flying down the hill.
It sounded like gunshots.
Well, it's supposed to be like he went off like a gunshot.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, you were paying attention. I'm like, no, I wouldn't have gotten that from that, because I don't really know what that kind of stuff does.
True.
But
yes, I laugh. I howl every time I see that scene.
It was pretty.
It was really fun. And then he gets onto the highway, and you just see sparks flying off it as he's flying down.
Just everything that could possibly go wrong and more.
Oh, it's such a funny movie. I highly recommend watching it. Even if we've spoiled it for you, we aren't doing it any justice in terms of...
I feel like this review has been kind of all over the place.
It
You
has.
should probably watch it. We're just here to say that it is a good movie. Like,
yeah.
I never heard of it until you told me about it.
Which is a surprise, because it is a Christmas classic.
Yeah. I mean, because there's a lot of movies I haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like Home Alone. I just watched it the first time this season.
Yeah, I showed her Home Alone.
But I knew about Home Alone. But I'd never heard of this... Okay, let me get the name right. Lampoon's?
No.
National Lampoon.
There you go.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yes.
I always say, like, are we going to watch the Lampoon thing?
Yes.
But yeah, it's definitely a good movie. And I feel like, yeah, like you said, it was 1989, which is it's not that long ago. But still, I feel like a lot of times when you watch movies, like, I mean, I do watch a lot of TV that's from the 90s anyway. But there are things that are, like, just really dated a lot of times. But this didn't really have anything in that, except for, like, the lights. Like, if one goes out on the light string, then they all go out.
Yes.
That's, like, the only thing. But, like, it wasn't like,
Oh, that's another brilliant scene. There's another brilliant scene in the movie where he's having trouble with his Christmas lights, and they keep going on and off for a reason, and he doesn't know why, and he gets so frustrated, he just starts, like, kicking shit around, and he's... And there's one brilliant scene where he stands up into frame with the two ends of the plugs, and he's just, like, power... And the wife figures out what the problem is. Just as he's bringing the plugs together, she flips the switch, and boom! Like, it's so masterfully edited, like, for comedy reasons. I love it. Sorry, I interrupted you.
I was just saying that I feel like it's pretty timeless, because there's not really any references. I mean, like, you can tell that it's not 2020, but... Well, obviously, because the whole family's there.
Yeah,
but
yes,
that's
like,
true. You
true.
can tell it's not, like, it's older.
Mm-hmm.
almost as old as you. No, but you can tell that it's like not like made 5 years ago, but it's like I feel like even in another 30 years, it would still be like you wouldn't be hung up on little things like, well, why is there that, and why do they have a huge cell phone or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, sneeze here. Yeah, like if you went to a Christmas family reunion or whatnot, and you put away the cell phones, and there was no laptops or iPads or any of that type of stuff, basically what you see in the movie could easily happen this day. That's how it sort of gets by that classic. Sorry, that not classic, but it is a classic. How it gets by the dated look of the movie and so forth. It's not like other movies that are clearly set in the 70s with like the sideburns and the stuff.
Yeah, well, like even when we watched Home Alone.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about that actually today. Is like how they have their lights timed and all that. Like those are like the security measures they have at the time. It's like now if your kid was left home alone, which like probably wouldn't be, probably wouldn't happen, but you would have it on your cell phone. You'd be like looking at the house, and you'd probably be able to contact the child. Like that's like watching a movie like that, even though it was only when was Home Alone made?
90. I want to say 91.
Yeah. So like again, not that long ago, but you. Like, if you think about the security measures, we have so many more now.
Yes. Yeah, no. Exactly. But then again, we did in Home Alone. Home Alone, also written by John Hughes, well written. He actually, they address a lot of those issues, because remember when
No, I know.
the power went out, the phones went out. So there was no...
No, I know, but no, what I mean is, not that they couldn't phone, but like now, like the security measures they had set up were like, oh, the lights will go on at this time, this rotation, so burglars don't know that
okay.
But now, if you had those kind of security measures because you're going away, like, you would have a security camera system, it'd be connected to your phone, you'd be able to see what's going on.
Yes.
You'd be like, our child is there, like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It'd be totally different.
It would
and
be
you
totally
could
different.
call your child, like, on his, because he would probably have a cell phone, you know?
That is true. Yes,
So...
that is true. But this isn't a review of Home Alone, by the way.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyways,
Good movie.
great. I'm glad you love this movie. I was pretty much assured you would love this movie, even if you didn't find it as funny as I did. I'm pretty sure that it was. There was nothing uberly bad about this.
Uberly
movie.
Bad.
Well, it isn't. I mean, they're all
No,
great.
it's a
They're
great
good
movie.
performances,
It's, like,
good
super
story,
fun.
good characters.
Yeah.
So, anyways, thank you very much for watching.
We got through all this.
Yeah.
All our
If
rambling.
you could pick everything together and put it all together, you can probably figure out what we're talking
Understand
about.
what we said.
I guess we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, see you next time.